Alright, this time we're going to work on 207-6-43-stop. That should be in your class. Right here, 207-6-43, stop. Alright, so this part is the base. This part is the part right here. So the base is, let's see, the base, well, the overall width is 5 inches, right? That 5 inches is right there. The overall height is 1 inch, and the overall depth is 2 inches. So we're going to look at that 2 inches. Then the base right here says it's 1 inch. So the 1 inch right here, that's going to be 1 inch high right there. 2 inches this way because we know it's the depth, and then 5 inches is the length. So then the top part here that they're calling part, 0.75 this way, 1 inch this way, and 3 inches this way. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. If you need to, go and look in Schoology, find it in your classroom in Schoology, and we'll go from there. All right, so go to your class, find 207-6-43, 207-6-43, and it is called the stop. All right, you're finding that in your class. Okay, so what we're going to do first is it's not a metric part, so we'll go ahead and just pick one of these things right here, and I'm going to start by clicking New Sketch right on that plane, and I'm going to view Normal 2. I'm going to look right at the plane, and I'm going to draw a corner-to-corner rectangle right there like that. I don't want it that size. I want it to be bigger than that. That's about right. I'm going to do a midpoint from there to here and here. So I got that midpoint on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 dimensions that I know for the base on there, which is 5, and the height of that was 1. Alright, and then I'll finish that sketch, turn it so I can see this way, and I'm going to extrude it to me this way. That was 2 inches. Alright, now I want to use the same plane to create a new sketch right there. So I'm going to do a new sketch, right click, view Normal 2. I want to look right at it. I'm going to do the same thing, do a sketch right here like this, and then I'm going to do a midpoint, and I'm going to select the midpoint of this and go to those 2 points right there, and it puts them right there on there. And the other thing I know is I'm going to put a dimension on that makes this one 1 inch tall and makes this 3 inches wide. Alright, so then I'll finish that sketch, turn it sideways like this, and I'm going to extrude it 0.75, right, 0.75. Alright, so that's our part. We can, if you want to turn those off, you can. You don't have to, but I'll right click on it and go ahead and create a drawing. I'm just going to use the B size. I like the B size paper to make drawings. Gives you a little more room if you want to do that, and that's okay. There's not going to be any hidden lines on this one, although you can go through and show all the hidden lines if you want to show them, just to see if there are. It's always a good idea. So then we'll look at this, and I'm going to go from this endpoint to this endpoint. I get the overall length, and I'm going to get the overall depth right there, from there to there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 2 decimal places now. It makes my part cheaper in the long run. So then I'll put in here, I'm going to put in that the height of this one is 1, and I'll put the height from here to here is also 1. We can put in that it's 2 if we wanted to do that, but we had the base and the part dimensions on there. So I'm going to put in, we know that line up top is 5, so we know the overall length is 5, so that's 3, so that tells us this. So then we're down to, we know how tall this is, we know the length of this, we know how the length of this area, we know the depth of it, we know the height by these dimensions up here. So we're really not too worried about any of that. So we'll go ahead and just put this dimension on right here, click dimension, and I'm going to click that part right there, and that tells us that's 0.75. So we should have all the dimensions on here that we need to be able to do that. There's 3 dimensions for the top part of it. There's 3 dimensions for the bottom part of it. We've got everything we need to be able to move on. So at this point, I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to double click on this one and backspace over it because I'm going to put in the name of it, and that is stop. And I'll come down to the one where we put the part number in, backspace over that, and it is 207-6-43. Alright, and double click, I'm going to click that out of there, double click my mouse wheel so it zooms to the extent, and then I'll go ahead and you should click right here, you should click submit. You should be submitting all your drawings, and then we'll go to print, and it's going to create that print, which I just did a minute ago. But you know what? I want to get the name right when I do this, and this is something is new to me, so I'm going to rename this, and we'll call it 207-6-43, and it is the stop. All right, so now when I create that part, print, that's what it's called. It should save it that way. You should download that and put that in your name file on your desktop. All right, let's move on.